For more on this, let's bring in Republican Senator Jon Hoeven from Minnesota's neighbor, North Dakota. Senator, you've heard the governor's and the mayor's demands that federal troops, federal authorities get out of Minneapolis. What's your reaction?
My reaction is that Governor Walz and the mayor need to work with the federal law enforcement officials. They need the state and local law enforcement to work together with our law enforcement officials, not only to enforce the law. The law needs to be enforced, not enforced selectively, but enforced, and they need to work together. And that's how you keep people safe in our communities, in their homes. And also, I think that would help greatly in terms of identifying the people who are here illegally and pose a real threat in terms of crime and other problems for our country. If Governor Walz or Mayor Frey are concerned about that, then work with law enforcement, work with ICE and DHS, and then go through that process of identifying the criminals and the people who are here and make our communities unsafe.
Yeah, Minneapolis is a sanctuary city, self-declared. What's the benefit of having a sanctuary city? I mean, they seem to see it as a good thing. Give us your perspective.
Well, that said, a sanctuary city de facto does not work. Which laws should be enforced, John? The ones you favor, the ones I favor, the ones... No. All laws have to be enforced fairly and openly, and that's what's going on. And that's what the governor and the mayor are impeding, and that's why you're having these problems. And to the extent they disagree with federal policy, then we have many ways to work on that as far as changing our laws or adjudicating our laws. But they are elected to maintain law and order and keep people safe, and they're not doing it.
I want to put up an X post from your fellow Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. He writes, "My perspective on such matters is that law enforcement officers who risk their lives to enforce our laws and protect us and our property should be respected. If you disagree with that, it is not a blank check to do anything you like. The recent physical and verbal assaults on ICE and Border Patrol agents have led to a very dangerous situation. The protesters are actually endangering their communities more." Just give us your thoughts on that.
Look, we have to get all the facts in this case. Very important. And leaders have to de-escalate it and get calmness. And we can't just go by what we saw on videos on social media. We've got to get the facts. But in a situation where an individual appears to have approached law enforcement, intervened while they're trying to do their job, and he has a loaded handgun with them, think about that. Those law enforcements are out there risking their lives. Imagine if that was your husband or your wife out there trying to enforce the law to keep us safe. And so we've got to keep perspective here, and we've got to get the facts. But at the end of the day, I was governor of our state for 10 years. And I'll tell you what, I knew number one, I had to work to keep our citizens safe. Peaceful protest, yes, but enforcing the law, local and state and federal law enforcement officials working together with elected leaders, first and foremost, keep people safe. And that's what actually protects our right to protest and our First Amendment rights to speak out, is not selective enforcement of the law, but enforcement of all of our laws.
The Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, in summarizing what happened there, pointed out that the mayor didn't even mention the fact that this man who was shot and killed was apparently carrying a firearm, and not just a loaded firearm, but 2 extra magazines as well. That would seem to be important here, but the mayor didn't mention it.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That's escalating tensions. And remember, you have people that do want to protest peacefully, and they do. But people that show up in a situation like this and they have gas masks on and they're dragging, turning over dumpsters, starting fires, throwing garbage cans in the street, impeding law enforcement, those aren't peaceful protesters. That's civil disobedience. That's violating the law, and they put everybody at risk.
It is the neighboring state. As we mentioned, you were governor of North Dakota. What's the difference between Minnesota and North Dakota?
Well, I think it does go back to leadership like we're talking about. Here's the governor and the mayor, and they're talking about how, get out there and protest, and they refuse. And again, peaceful protest is one thing, but to refuse to have your local at your local police, your sheriff's office, your state police. Have them in there in a way that keeps people safe and maintains peaceful protests. They're not doing their job.
North Dakota Republican Senator and former Governor Jon Hoeven. We appreciate you coming on today. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.